Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. And today is episode number 146 with the beautiful Arvee Robinson. And I can't wait to tell you all about her. But first, I would love to introduce our sponsor for today, who is Hey Taxi. Hey Taxi empowers and educates female entrepreneurs who are growing their businesses online. Hey Taxi's Empowered CEO membership is for you if you are a female entrepreneur who is ready and fully committed to taking action to run a successful, profitable business and ready to scale quickly. You need strategic support from an experienced business peers who can partner to develop action plans and provide access to focused business training and go-to tools covering all the areas of running a business online. Take the Hey Taxi Swiss Cheese survey today to identify the gaps and gold stars in your current business strategy and structure. And you can do that on the link that we have provided below at your fingertips. So thank you so much, Hey Taxi, for sponsoring today. And of course, you can find additional information of all of our partners at leadupforwomen.com. And of course, please follow us on all of our social media platforms at Lead Up for Women. So let me tell you about our guest today, Arvee Robinson, as we dive in about speaking up to get clients, my favorite topic. Arvee Robinson is the master speaker, trainer, international speaker, and author of Speak Up, Get Clients. She teaches business owners how to use public speaking as a marketing strategy so they can attract more clients, generate unlimited leads, grow their business fast, and make a difference with their words. Arvee has trained over 5,000 individuals, given over 3,500 speeches globally, and has shared the stage with speaking giants such as Mark Victor Hansen, good friend of mine, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Tommy Hopkins, Sharon Lecter, who's right behind me on that magazine, and many world-class leaders. Arvee is here today to show how important your message really is. I love that, Arvee. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Colleen. Great to be here.
Our messages are so important and they're so unique, wouldn't you say?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about, let's get our listeners to get to know you.
Okay.
Why did you dive into the world of speaking? You know, where did that start for you? I always like to go way, way, way back to find out if you were, setting up your dolls and speaking to them, or talk to me about your path to get here. And why getting on stages and being in front of, speaking is so important and so passionate to you.
I'm happy to do that. As a matter of fact, I didn't plan on to be a public speaking trainer. It was sheer by accident. When I graduated from college, I got a job working at Deloitte Haskins and Sells, which was a huge international CPA firm, not as a CPA, but as a systems consultant, because my degree was in computerized systems. So I went to work for them back in the 80s when microcomputers first came out. And my job was to set up financial accounting systems, inventory, payroll, all of that, and then teach small business owners how to use them so they could, for once, automate, because only large companies could afford computers and they were the size of a room. So it was a revolutionary time. So my boss came to me one day and said, Arvee, I want you to get out there and start speaking to tell people that we're offering this brand new service. And I thought to myself, piece of cake. I took one speech class in college. I was good to go. I knew everything there was to know about public speaking, or so I thought. Well, I went out there and there was lots of speaking engagements when you're with a company that size. That wasn't the problem. But I would go out there and speak and I wouldn't get any clients. I wouldn't get any interest. Nobody would even come up to me at the end of my talks. And I would watch other speakers and they would get a crowd. So I knew I was doing something wrong, Colleen, but I just didn't know what it was. And then one day, just like this woman comes up to me. I'll never forget it because I was like so excited. Finally, someone coming up to me, and she looks me in the eye and she says, honey, do you know that after every sentence you say, okay? And I just looked at her and the only thing I could think of saying back was, okay, but I got it in that moment that it was me, that I was the problem, that just because I could talk, just because I could flap my jaw did not make me a public speaker. and that I needed to respect public speaking. So I decided I was going to get trained, and not just trained, I was going to master it. I was going to be the best in that defining moment. So I went and took all the classes I could find, any seminar that had the word communication in it or public speaking or anything. I took classes, I studied, I practiced, and then it wasn't long before when I would go out there and speak, the better I got at speaking, the better my clients got. So as I got better, my clients got better. I got better, my clients got better. And I thought to myself, this stuff really works. When you know how to speak properly and build rapport with your audience and do the close and all that, and it really, really works to get clients. So I started using it throughout my 23-year career to get clients. That was how I primarily got my clients. Then I started teaching my colleagues because they wanted to know what I was doing that was working so well. And then I figured it out that, hey, I could use this in my management meetings for upward mobility in my company, right? To get promotions and everything. So I did that. And until I reached the very, very high that I could go, the very top, and that was as a senior manager because I wasn't a CPA. So I could only go that far. And by then, after 23 years, it wasn't quite as much fun as it used to be. I wasn't blazing the trails like I used to be. So I knew it was time to make a change, right? Because, I was at the top. There was no more. I had staff and all of that. And so I decided it was time to make a change. I didn't know what kind of change. This was all I knew. I graduated, went to work, and that was it. 23-year career in corporate America. So I did what any smart girl would do, Colleen, and that was I prayed about it. Prayed about it, and God said, well, he didn't say it this way. He said, teach others what I've taught you, right? And I knew what he meant, and that was public speaking. So 18 years ago, I left corporate America and everything it had to offer, and I started my own company, my own business, training entrepreneurs, business owners, and service professionals how to use public speaking as a marketing strategy so they too could get clients just like I did. And I've been doing it ever since.
It's so smart. And you hit the nail on the head when you said it wasn't that you weren't getting that you were able to get out there and get the exposure. The biggest issue you were having is you were getting the exposure, but what was coming out of your mouth wasn't flattering anybody. It wasn't attracting them. And I see this a lot, RV, with people in this industry. Just because you're passionate about your product doesn't mean you're saying all the right words, right? And sometimes you are passionate about it, but then when you get up in front of people, you kind of shrivel back and then none of your passion comes out on the stage.
Right.
And people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And passion really is that bridge and connection from our heart to their heart.
Right. Well, your words will truly sell or they repel. And most of the time, it's like people get out there and they throw up all over their audience because they don't know what to say when. They don't build rapport first.
Right.
So they think, oh, content is king. And they go out and go, bleh, and with all this content, and you're just like, whoa, wait a minute, where did that come from? And audiences just kind of feel a little repelled. But there is a way to do it right, build rapport, and then your audience will be ready for that content, and then they'll be ready for the close. Because the close is a natural progression of a well-presented speech.
Which is so important. So let's talking about the warming up of it. The warming up of it is really, getting connected with your audience, right? And then so many speakers I have seen kind of leave us hanging and they don't close it. So then you're like, well, how do I connect with them? What if I have a question? There really wasn't anything that kept me wanting more or to go talk to you when you get off stage.
Right. And a lot of speakers don't offer more. And what I teach is this: your 30-minute speech will get people aware of what it is you do and aware that they need to do it and the benefits. So you, as a speaker, it's our duty to give people a way to get more so they can solve their problem. And they're not going to solve it in a 30-minute speech, but they can become aware of it, the benefits of solving it. And then you provide them with a workshop, something more than a book, but a workshop or a retreat or
a course.
some sort of a course where they can get more of you. And really, it's more of the solution is what they're looking for.
Right. Because there's a demand out there and you're solving a problem.
That's
so
right.
If this person has a problem and you're speaking and they came to listen to you, they want you to help them solve a problem.
Exactly.
And the fastest way to get there is for you to be that person to do that for them. And they're happy to pay for it. Right.
They already, what you said a minute ago, they already now know you, like you, and trust you. So now they're ready to buy from you.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Talk to us about, you talk about sharing stages with some of these big names. How, for someone that might be listening, that says, well, I've worked with someone, or I've put together, my speech. I think, they've worked with someone in the past, but I'm either not getting any return from speaking, so no one's really clicking on anything, buying anything, following me, coming to any of my workshops afterwards. Or I'm just struggling, two problems, and I'm struggling to find stages to be on. So what are these two solutions that you would tell someone that falls into these buckets?
Right. Well, for the first problem about the speech and not getting any activity or return, that's exactly what I was doing. And I would recommend get more training, because a lot of people think like I did. I had one speech class in college and I was good and I know everything. No, public speaking has changed over the years, just like every other industry. The law industry's changed, the accounting world has changed, computers have changed. You've got to keep up. And that means continuous training, continuous speaking improvement. Don't just take one class. You find all the public speaking trainers out there and take their classes, because we all offer something different. And we're all, I took a lot of them years ago from a lot of different people. And then I started developing systems, because when I came out in this world, there were no systems for speaking and for all the other parts of speaking. So I found, because I came out of the systems world, when you have a system to follow, it's like a roadmap. It's easy to put everything in place. So it's kind of like this, and then I'll answer the second question. So it's like, people go, well, a system, I don't want to look, I want to be authentic. It's like having that beautiful picture, right? You have a beautiful picture, which is your speech, right? But doesn't it look better when you put it in a gorgeous frame and you put, the right frame around it and maybe some binding or whatever? It just makes it look better.
Oh, yeah.
Systems that I teach, they're like that. You're going to be authentically the picture in the frame. No one even is going to know you're using a frame, but they'll know when you don't. And that's the key, because you'll be all over the place. So if you want to be more effective, take more training and find people like me that teach an actual system that you can use over and over and over, and which takes the guesswork how to develop a speech. And I'm constantly improving my systems. I'm constantly in the trenches, and I'm constantly teaching what I'm learning by getting out there and speak. So the second solution or second problem, and the solution for that is, how do I get speaking engagements, right? Everybody asks that. And the answer is really simple. They're not going to come to you. It's not the kind of thing, build it and they will come, especially in the beginning. When you've been in the industry a lot, and a lot of speaking engagements come to me, of course, Sharon Lecter, Les Brown, they come to them. And it's no different than if you were a movie star, right? When you're in the beginning, you've got to go and seek, and after a while, people will seek you. So how do you seek those speaking engagements? Use the ATM method. This is something I developed, ATM, because that's where we go when we want the money. The A is for ask. Start asking people. Start asking people like Colleen, hey, do you know of anybody that's looking for a speaker? Don't ask, hey, can I come and be on your podcast? That's not the proper question. That can be defensive. But just say, hey, do you know of anybody looking for a speaker? Do you know any groups? Do you know any podcasts? That is a very innocent question. And if they know of someone, they will tell you, or maybe they'll invite you to yours. So that's number one. Ask everyone you can think of. Hey, do you know anybody looking for speakers? Number two, T, tell everybody you're a speaker, for heaven's sakes. Everybody wants to speak, but then they'll say they're a life coach, or they're this or they're that, and they never put speaker in it. When you're introducing yourself, no matter what group it is, whether it's online or live, this is what you say. You say what, your name. Hi, I'm Betsy Joe, and I'm a life coach, and I'm also a speaker looking for speaking engagements. If you know of anybody, please let me know. Bam! That will get you more speaking engagements than picking up a telephone, because everybody hears it. Everybody, and now people are thinking, ooh, do I know of anybody? So let me repeat it. Hi, I'm Betsy Joe, and I'm a life coach, and I'm also a speaker looking for speaking engagements. If you know of anybody looking for a speaker, please let me know. So it's not offensive to anybody. The M now, the M, you're going to do a little work, and the M in ATM is mail. Yes. What happened to the mail? We used to always mail. Years ago, we would mail out media kits, right? And spend, $10 with a media kit. And I'm not suggesting you need to do that today, but I am suggesting use the old-fashioned mail, do a sweet, nice, kind cover letter with your one sheet. And if you don't know what a one sheet is, you could go online and find out. It's just one sheet of paper with all your speaker information or your speech information on it. Real easy breezy. Doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be glossy. It can be a Word document, for heaven's sakes.
Well, you can go to Canva and get those created.
Go to Canva.
Yeah.
There you go. Go to Fiverr. But anyway, the point being is a lot of people, they go, ooh, I got to spend money and make it. Now, I don't want anything to get in your way. That's my point. Don't let any of that get in your way. If you don't know Canva, don't say, oh, well, I can't do it now because I can't. No, do something simple, get it out there. That's the main thing. And again, the letter just says something simple. And of course, you're going to do your research. You're going to look at groups that you want to identify. Then you just talk to them, not, hey, I want to speak and get, no, hey, I love your group. I've read up about Lead Up for Women, and it really sounds like a fantastic group. I love what you're doing. It sounds like you're really changing lives. Give them a compliment about what they're doing, and then say, hey, if it would be a good fit, I actually speak on communication for women. If you're interested in having a conversation about it, please let me know. And that's it. And send it out, because nobody is sending, very few, I should say, are sending anything for someone to open and actually look at. And make sure you have your phone number on there really big. And then you can always follow up with a phone call too. Hey, I'm just following up to see if you got my letter in the mail. It gives you a reason to follow up. I'm telling you, I've taught that over and over again. And I've had people that have done it, and they've gotten not only regular speaking engagements, free ones, but they've also got paid ones. So It works. Try it.
Yeah, I think you have excellent tips there. When people are looking for speaking engagements, there are so many great, wonderful companies. Two that I work with is Speakers Need to Speak and Speakertunity. And they provide speaking leads, like 100 speaker leads. If you're a member of their organization, not only are they going to help you get speaking opportunities, you're going to be surrounded with them. I market every week, RV, in my actual newsletter for Lead Up for Women about a speaker's playhouse that you can go to, where all these other speakers are there, people that have podcasts, that are doing summits, they're looking for speakers. So in today's digital age, especially, there are so many opportunities out there. So anyone that tells me they can't get speaking gigs is not out there looking.
Right.
They're not.
Or they're getting those leads and they're not following up. So that's important.
Oh, let's talk about the follow-ups in the fortune now.
That's right. That's right. So when you get those leads,
or the fortunes in the follow-up.
Fortunes in the follow-up.
Said that backwards.
When you get those leads, you got to follow up on them. They're gold. They're like just handed to you. So if you can't do it, give it to a virtual assistant and have them follow up on those leads for you. But do follow up.
Yeah. I'm glad that you said that because, I received a little book yesterday and I posted it on social media. And I'll show it to you real quick. It
Okay.
says there's no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs,
I
right?
love that.
Right. I love this too. And it's just a little notebook that came with a Christmas card from one of my friends, Katrina Sawa, who I do business with. And what I loved about that was so many people lately, RV, I'm not going to say it's everyone I talk to,
Right,
but
right,
several women,
right.
they want to know why they're not getting speaking engagements, why they're not getting clients, why they haven't been successful. When you go back and look at the track record of the actions that they've been taking, then the follow-ups that they've been doing, you can clearly see where the issue lies,
Right,
right? This
right.
is a world as an entrepreneur that if you want to be an elite speaker, you have to work towards being an elite speaker. You have to ask a lot. And I love that RV said that because humility is important. It's very important. And you need to be not afraid to get out there and say, hey, RV, I have some questions for you. I've been wanting to get on some stages, particularly stages that have a women audience. And
Right.
I would love to be able to talk to more women about mastering themselves or about getting themselves, visibility so they can be seen and be heard. Where would be a good place that you can think of that would be a great option for me to do that? And you're like, oh, my friend so and so does events.
You,
I could connect the two of you over on
you know,
email, right?
Colleen, I want to address that.
Yeah.
What you said is powerful and profitable because not don't do that just one time. But what you do is you get a friend, a speaker friend. Now I have two of them that are out there speaking. And what we do is once a month, we have an appointment, 30-minute appointment. We get together on the phone or on Zoom and we exchange speaker leads. Because I spoke on a stage, right? Well, they're not going to have me speak on that stage right away, not for at least a year or two, but they might have my friends speak on a stage. So it's not competition. You're not trying to hog anything.
Mhm.
You're sharing. So I share something with her, she shares something with me. And I've been on stages that I didn't even know about if it wasn't for
Yeah.
this person. And then, like I said, I have two of them, new one that I'm just starting. And so think of it that way. Get a power partner, a power
Yeah.
speaking partner, power speaker partner, whatever you want to call it. And once a month, exchange leads and stages. And
Yeah.
you'll watch what happens.
I'm glad you said that because I'll share just a quick story. I was in on this, speaking and teaching at the Small Business Expo. And I had gotten to know the coordinator that was putting all the speakers together. And he was looking for a speaker on a certain date that I was not available. And I said, would you like me to send you two people that I know are available that could fill that spot for you? So I was easing up his stress that he had of finding a speaker. So I did, and that person accepted, and he came back to me with such gratitude and gave me more opportunity in the future, and then gave her more opportunity because he loved her after he heard her speak. So
Okay.
doing things for others is about collaboration, not about competition. And that put me in such a good light that I got him out of he was kind of in a bind, right? Someone had backed out on him and he needed a speaker right away. So I had helped fill that spot, even though it wasn't me. I helped fill that spot with somebody else.
Well, and that's the new currency now.
It
Because
is.
guess what? Even the speaker, now she, in a way, there's reciprocity,
Yeah.
the law of reciprocity. So she's probably going to be trying to look for another speaking engagement she can give you just to kind of, give
Right.
back.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
it just keeps going around. Yeah.
And she did. There was another time that she
Awesome.
needed to speak and she couldn't. And she said, Colleen, I owe you one. So here, I want you to meet this person so you can speak on their stage. So it
Yeah.
all worked out. It always works out
Always
perfect.
does.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So RV, you offer so much. You bring so much training to the table, so much substance in speaking, the pathway that we need to take to be able to have that perfect speech of warming them up and giving them the content and closing, like you've talked about earlier. How can my community connect with you, get into your community? How can they follow you? How can they have a download, anything that you have to
I do.
offer?
I do.
How do we do that?
I do have a free gift. But I do just want to say again, I'm on every social media platform there is. I'm on YouTube, been on there for many, 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 many years. If you want a good laugh, go back and look at something that I did like 15, 16 years ago with my flip camera. Because again, focus on completion. It doesn't have to be perfect. The content is what is perfect. But you can find me on all social media. Again, my name is spelled Arvee Robinson, and that's the name. It was my mom and dad's initials, and that's where it originally came from. But
Aw,
the gift
I love that.
the gift I have for you today, because we didn't get to talk about closing today, and closing is so important. Once you know how to get those speaking engagements, build rapport, closing is very important. So many speakers wimp out in the close, right? So they don't end as strong as they began, and I want you to end as strong as you began. So I'm going to give you the script. So it's a script for 5 different closes. They work both for the live world and for the virtual world, with of course some tweaks. But you can get it at rvrobinson.com/free closing script. Real easy. rvrobinson.com free closing script. I'm telling you, just follow the script. That's one of my systems. Just follow it. Pick whichever one you want. Now, why is there 5? Because there's a different, and this isn't important. You need the right close for the right amount of time, the right close for the right speech for the right audience. So there's going to be some times where you're going to do a 15-minute speech or a 10-minute speech. You can't go in to collect cards and do a raffle and all that stuff. But here's what I call the inspirational close. If I've inspired you in any way, come and see me. I'm going to be standing right here. I'm going to be back of the room, wherever you're going to be. Or if I've inspired you in any way, just reach out. My email is in the chat. Reach out to me. Tell me. I would love to hear. Now, those people that reach out and come and see you, they're your hot leads that you need to follow up on, because they're people that love you, know you, and trust you. Hello, people, right? They're hot leads. You're a magnet, and you just brought them out of the room.
I love that.
So there's a script, and it'll show you which one to use for whatever number of time you have to speak. Really important to pick the right close for the right amount of time, for the right speech, for the right audience.
I agree. And thank you for that. What a wonderful gift for the listeners. And for all of you that are listening to this on the podcast, or if you're following us at Lead Up for Women on Facebook, then it was right there at the tip of your fingers. And we have her link tree, so you can click on there and have access to her website for free downloads and many other areas where you can connect with Arvee. And go find her on LinkedIn as well and connect with her there. So Arvee, thank you so much for being here today. You gave so many wonderful golden nuggets and tips from start to finish on what we can do to have a great speech. But get connected with Arvee. She is a phenomenal female, just a beautiful person, and you're just gonna love knowing her. Period. So definitely get connected with her. And I want to leave you with this, ladies, as well. Remember, you're the only you that's ever been. You are the only you that's ever been, and you're the only you that's ever going to be. When I say that, that means you have a fingerprint, you're unique, no one else can be like you. So when you speak loud from stage, use your passion, right? You are so unique. What you have, nobody else has. It is worth so much. Have the confidence to get out there and share your message with the world. And no one here is going to give you permission, because you get to give yourself your own permission to get out there and speak from stage. So thank you so much for being with us today, Arvee. Thank you, listeners, for taking the knowledge that you've learned and the wisdom and nuggets, and go ahead and go apply those. Go connect with Arvee. And until next time, when we talk to you, be you and be strong. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.